Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Boeing's Starliner launch, which was scheduled for today but has been delayed. Now this was going to be a very significant step as far as the journey into STEP is concerned. So let us try to understand about this entire project and what is the significance of this Starliner launch. So first of all, to give the context, the Starliner aircraft that has been produced or manufactured by a well-known aerospace company called as Boeing is scheduled to carry two NASA astronauts, one of who we can say is also an Indian origin astronaut, Sunita Williams, and it was scheduled to be launched by an Atlas V rocket, which is considered to be the workhorse of the US space agencies because it has till now carried more than 70 successful flights from the Kennedy Space Center situated in the Cape Canaveral region of Florida to the ISS, that is the International Space Station. Now this would have been the Starliner's first crewed test flight, and if the mission became successful, Boeing will become the second private firm actually to be able to provide such kind of services after the SpaceX. As we know that a few years before, NASA used to carry out its own space missile and used to carry out its own space shuttle into the space, but later on they privatized this space, and thus SpaceX since 2020 has been continuously supporting NASA in basically what we can say sending transport to the ISS. So Boeing can become the second such kind of company if this kind of launch became successful. So let us try to understand about the Boeing's Starliner. What is the Boeing's Starliner spacecraft? So this is basically, as we can see, it is a CST-100, that is code name of this aircraft, which means that it is a crew space transportation aircraft. When we say crew space transportation aircraft, it means basically in this Starliner we are having two different kind of module. The first module is something that is referred as crew module that will host the crew, and the second module is called as service module. And if you combine them together, the capsule, the entire Starliner capsule has a total height of about 5 meter and the width of about 4.6 meters. If you look at the design, this is how it actually looks like. Basically, this is the crew module, as you can see on the top of this Starliner, and in this crew module, actually it is not something that can be used only one time. It is reusable and can be used at least up to 10 times. Now it has a capacity of about 7 people. However, for this purposes, when the Starliner will be used by Boeing to send in for docking with the International Space Station, they are planning to use only 4 spaces out of this. That means 4 crew members will be allowed to maximum occupy these areas. On the other hand, we have the service module. Now service module is something that is considered as the powerhouse of this aircraft or spacecraft, which supplies all kind of essential we can say conditions such as electricity required for the we can say propagation of the aircraft, propulsion systems, then thermal control, air as well as water in the space. This module is also expandable, that means its size can be increased or enhanced depending on the requirement. Now both of these crew and service module collectively makes up the Starliner, and this Starliner spacecraft is a next generation space capsule that is designed to transport crew to the ISS and any other low Earth destinations as well. However, this Starliner will be flown using Atlas V rockets, as we have discussed. Atlas V rocket is made up of 2 solid fuel stage rockets, and basically this is also, as we have discussed, one of the most reliable rocket that the NASA or the US space agencies uses for themselves. Now let us try to understand about this mission in main detail. So the main objective of the mission, if we try to understand, it is to understand and see how a Starliner performs in space if crew is on board. It is supposed to dock with the ISS, as you can see from this particular picture. This is the International Space Station, and this is a diagram to illustrate that how docking will happen. So basically the spacecraft, the Starliner will dock, and then the crew can enter into the ISS. So how successful docking can happen? Also, a day after the launch for around 10 days before it returns back to the Earth. Not only that, Starliners, before it can automatically dock with the space station, crew members will also test fly it manually. and they also will will participate in various tests, a series of tests that will involve test of seating, assess the onboard life support system, how is it working, also the navigation systems, whether it is working or not, any calibration is required or not, as well as any kind of evaluation that need to be taken about the system that moves cargo into the international space stations. That is the objectives that we can understand. Apart from that, there are some other objectives that are also illustrated here. So, first example, the space suits that the astronauts will wear while flying in the Starliner is not same as has been used by the earlier we can say flight. This kind of space suit, that as we can see from this particular picture, the blue colored suits, the blue suits are around 40% lighter than their predecessors, and also they have touch screen sensitive glow. So, testing of this space suit is also going to be an important part of this particular mission. Then during the return journey, NASA and Boeing both will keep an eye on the spacecraft's heat shield as well as the parachute deployment, how successful it is. And why it is important, because if you compare it with the other kind of capsule, space capsules, they were basically used to land in the ocean or sea. However, Starliner is different because it will descend, and after it descends, before airbags can open to soften the moment of impact of the ground. This is something that is very different because Starliner will land on the ground and not in the sea as compared to the other predecessor aircraft. However, this is a mission that is not something new. The mission was planned for a very long period of time, and the reason behind delay was numerous. For example, we know that NASA has retired its space shuttle fleet in almost 2011, and it invited then commercial space companies to help it transport astronauts and cargo to the international space stations. In here, two companies have shown interest. One is the SpaceX and other is the Boeing. Now, SpaceX without fail since 2020 has been successfully able to help NASA in basically transporting the goods or materials into the ISS. However, Starliner's first uncrewed flight itself came after 4 years of delay. It was first planned in 2015, but then actually it happened in year 2019. Even then, it has suffered from several issues, and that is why we have the Boeing have not been able to send its crewed space mission into the space. So, a series of software and hardware failures have been recorded by the Boeing company. Second, there was also concern from the expert communities about the performance of the thrusters. Thrusters are basically which ejects out the fuel, and then due to this Newton's third law of motion, as we know that what happens, the rocket is propelled in the upward direction or forward direction. So, thrusters were also having some problem, plus spacecraft's cooling system also had certain glitches. The safety of wiring and parachutes was something that was also challenged, and as a result Boeing delayed the launch of Starliner's first crewed flight from 2023 to where we are today. However, unfortunately, even today, as the news is coming in, due to the glitches in not the Starliner system, but due to glitch in the rocket, that is Atlas V rocket, again today's this scheduled launch has been postponed. Now, why this mission is significant? So, we can understand that the mission success is crucial not only for the private company, that is Boeing, but also for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that is government agency of NASA. Currently, NASA is dependent on only one private company, that is SpaceX, which can take its astronauts as well as cargo to the ISS. So, basically this is a kind of monopoly that SpaceX enjoys in this kind of sphere, and also even if we not talk about monopoly, for example, if an urgent launch is required, but due to some problems in the SpaceX, if the launch is delayed or launch is postponed, then that can be very critical for the astronauts who already are on board international space stations. Then by bringing Boeing into this sphere, and if Boeing is successfully able to demonstrate its capacity that it is also equally capable as SpaceX to take the cargo and astronauts to ISS, then obviously there will be competition that will also lower the prices, and also NASA can then bet on two different horses. So, Starliner getting approval for conducting routine flights to and from the ISS would give NASA basically a backup, an option to not depend on a single company or a vehicle for the space launches. The success, however, is also more important for the Boeing also, because Boeing's brand name has been kind of, we can say, it has taken a hit after several problems were found in the Boeing aircraft. Now, if Starliner completes its objectives, it will also help Boeing challenge SpaceX dominance in the commercial space industry, and also it will able to recover the brand image, the brand name image that it is suffering problem from in the commercial aircraft industries. Now, in this mission, the Starliner mission, let us try to understand who are the crew members. So, basically it is a 2 crew mission, however, on backup crew also has been assigned. So, for example, Butch Wilmore is the main crew member. Then we have Sunita Williams, who is an Indian origin astronaut, who also has participated in the previous missions of NASA as well, and also has spent a lot of days in the International Space Station. She will accompany the Butch Wilmore, and in case if any of these 2 crew members have some problems, if they are not able to make into their journey, in that case backup spacecraft test pilot to the crew flight test, that is Mike Fink, has been assigned in this case. So, that is all about the Starliner mission and the issues, concerns and significance. I hope you understood about this. Thank you very much.